Sup, dude. Cooper Flagg has the face of a kid who'd help an old lady cross the street, but when he steps on the court, he turns into Kevin Garnett, just a few shades lighter and minus the colorful trash talk. Cooper doesn't strike me as the type of dude to tell someone his girl tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios. I mean, shit, the dude's from Maine. He wasn't eating Cheerios with the weirdos. Homie ate lobsters with the monsters. What's crazy about him being from Maine is the fact that he got so good at basketball. That's crazy because if you didn't know, Maine is 90% honkies. There's over 2 times the amount of moose in Maine than black people. That is a serious disadvantage when it comes to basketball skill development. I mean, think about it. If you grow up playing against white people, that's like playing 2K on rookie difficulty. You aren't gonna get much better. So the fact that he turned out the way he did is surprising to me. I mean, sure, he's 6'9", 69, but 6'9" isn't 7 foot. He still needs a lot of skill at that height, and the dude developed it against future frat and finance bros. I assume Cooper realized the comp in Maine was light when, as a freshman in high school at just 14 or 15 years old, he averaged 20 points, 10 boards, 6 assists, and almost 9 stocks a game. Dude was putting up Hakeem Olajuwon numbers before he grew his first ball sack hair. With those egregious numbers, Cooper was named the Maine Gatorade Player of the Year, and then he went on to win the state championship. After putting every Maine high school basketball player in a body bag as a prepubescent teen, he took his talents down south to play at Montverde Academy in Florida. I'm sure that was a huge culture shock. He went from getting buckets on kids who spent their weekends ice fishing to battling future NBA players every day in practice. If you're unaware, Montverde is basically an NBA player factory. They've had countless future stars play for them like Cade Cunningham, D'Lo, Derek Queen, and Asa Newell. So for Cooper, this was the real test. Could he still dominate against much tougher competition? Turns out the answer to that was a resounding yes. He adjusted fast, and by the time his senior year rolled around, he wasn't just the best player at Montverde, he was the best player in all of high school basketball. He got every award you can think of: Gatorade National Player of the Year, Mr. Basketball USA, Naismith Prep Player of the Year, you name it, he won it. The cherry on top was Montverde's perfect 34-0 record. They didn't lose a single game. Sure, that was thanks in large part to the fact that they were stacked with talent, but that record was also a testament to Cooper's winning mentality. As the best player on the team, he could have abused his power Wilt Chamberlain style and put up unbelievable numbers by being selfish, but instead he made the right plays, which in turn made their Montverde team arguably the best ever. You know what else is the best ever? Venice AI, today's video sponsor. Now I know what you're thinking, dude, what does Cooper Flagg have to do with AI? But hear me out. Just like Flagg's out there quietly lapping the competition, Venice is doing the same thing in the AI world. While everyone's out there using ChatGPT, dumping their deepest thoughts and wildest ideas into those platforms, they're watching, they're listening, and they're logging all of it. And it's tied to you. It's like inviting the feds into your group chat. If you don't believe me, well, ChatGPT just announced that they can reference all your past conversations. That's why I use Venice AI, a private, permissionless AI software that doesn't track, store, or sell your data. Everything stays encrypted in your browser like a secret vault for your brain. I've been using the Pro plan. PDF uploads, uncensored image generation, you can even tweak the AI's personality, and there's no annoying limits. If you want to support their mission and stop letting Silicon Valley treat your convos like free real estate, go to VeniceAI/MBAGoober to get 20% off a Pro plan. Alright, back to Flagg. Fast forward to today, Cooper is now preparing to be selected first in the NBA draft after getting bounced in the Final Four. I was pretty bummed he didn't make it to the championship, mostly because in my bracket I had Duke making it there and losing to Auburn, but also because I wanted to see Flagg cook on college's biggest stage. Unfortunately, in the Final Four, Duke matched up against Houston, and in the final 10 minutes of that game, the Blue Devils completely shit the bed. They made one bucket the entire second half of the second half. Surprisingly though, they managed to keep their lead. With like 30 seconds left, they led Houston by 6. That should have been game, a wrap, cue the celebration, start ordering the Natty t-shirts. But nah, disaster then struck for the Devils. In that final half of a minute, Houston proceeded to pull off one of the most disrespectful comebacks in Final Four history. In 30 seconds, they bent Duke over and slipped it in them without consent, going on a 9-0 run. 1 second, Duke's up 6, next second they're on the floor shaking, asking what the hell just happened and why their butthole is sore. The worst part about it was Cooper wasn't blameless. He got called for an over-the-back foul late that put Houston up by 1, and then he choked their last-second shot. Coach Shire gave him the ball in the final seconds, cleared everyone out like he was MJ, and let him go to work. Flagg got to his spot, but that Cougar D caused him to leave it short. That was it. Duke's season ended. Cooper's college career ended, and he rolled back to the locker room on a golf cart looking like he'd just seen a ghost. But let's be real, one missed shot doesn't define his entire season, because even with that brutal ending, Cooper didn't just have a good freshman year. He had one of the coldest freshman campaigns ever. From day one, it looked like the game was moving in slow motion for him. He never looked rushed. Dude was out there floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. For the year, he averaged 19 points, points, 7.5 rebounds, 4 assists, and nearly 3 stocks a game, which was good enough for him to be named the best player in college basketball. There was never a moment too big for the young fella. Didn't matter if it was a rivalry game, a road trip, or March Madness, he always showed up. The guy dropped 42 on Notre Dame, dotted up Arizona with 30 in the Sweet 16. Hell, even in that Final Four loss, he put up 27, 7, 4, 3, and 2. Sure, he missed the last shot, but perfect is hard to be at 18 years old. He was playing against a lot of dudes who were much older than him, but it didn't seem like that. It felt like the opposite. In terms of his NBA comparison, a lot of people are saying Kevin Garnett, which I honestly see a lot. KG may have been a tad more intimidating, but their strengths are very similar. Both of them got that big forward frame, a relentless motor, and that crazy mix of size and coordination. The two of them don't just play hard, they play mean, like they're personally very offended the other team even showed up. The difference is Flag has a little more wiggle to his game. He's smoother. Garnett was a hammer. Flag's more like a switchblade. He's already got that wing creation in his bag. He can take guys off the dribble, read the floor like a point guard, but still able to bully dudes in the post. And just like KG, he changes the game on both ends with his Dr. Octopus-like length and high defensive IQ. If everything clicks, you're looking at a guy who can give you 25, 10, 5 with elite defense and do it all without needing to dominate the ball or kill your team's rhythm. KG was one of only 8 players to average 20, 10, 5, a steal, and a block in the same season, and Flag has the tools to chase that exact line. But as we all know, none of that matters if he ends up in the wrong jersey. The team that I don't want to see Flag on is the Hornets. I'm sorry, but Charlotte is a dumpster fire, and they've been a dumpster fire for the last 2 decades. Also, I hate their jerseys. I would only be happy with him becoming a Hornet if they traded LaMelo. The youngest ball bro is always injured, and this season he took 21 shots a game while shooting barely over 40% from the field. Sure, the way he plays is fun, but I don't think it's conducive to winning. I mean, man, come on, he's not Kobe. If you put Cooper next to that, he's gonna spend half the game clapping for the ball and the other half running back on defense after Melo bricks a one-legged 360 through the legs fadeaway 3. Charlotte drafting Flag would be like a Harvard graduate working the door at Walmart. He's way too qualified to be stuck in that shithole. If they get the number 1 pick, Adam Silver needs to step in Child Protective Services style and do an emergency relocation. The best place for him to go is without a doubt San Antonio. They only have a 6% chance at number 1, but last year the Hawks only had a 3% chance and got it. Putting Flag next to Wemby would feed families. Not like anyone in San Antonio needs to be fed more, they're all pretty well fed, but still. That duo would be an all-you-can-eat buffet of nails and shards of glass for the rest of the league. The Spurs D would be OG Mudbone level, but of course this is very unlikely to happen. His most likely destinations are Utah, Charlotte, Washington, New Orleans, or Philly. I just mentioned I don't want to see him in a Charlotte jersey, but I also don't want to see him in a Pelicans jersey. If Dyson Daniels believes there's something in the water over there, there's definitely something in the water over there. I have about as much faith in that franchise as Zion has in salads. Philly, Utah, and Washington I don't think would be bad at all though. The Jazz have a nice little group of young dudes, so does Washington, and Philly fans deserve something good to happen to them for once. But wherever he ends up, even if it is Charlotte or New Orleans, I'm sure he'll be just fine. The dude is simply too good to fail. You know who else was too good to fail? Lou Williams. He was a walking bucket off the bench and arguably the greatest 6-man ever. You can click here to watch the video I made on him. As always, big thank you to the Goobers, Aaron Stark, Sheesh, Madzio2, Nolan Fincher, Quinn Murphy, Bray Thompson, HTL, and Tippy Lou. I greatly appreciate y'all's support. Also join my Discord, the link is in the description. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Bye dude.